Hello and welcome to the Black Dog Podcast, episode number 386.
Woo!
Woo! Yes, no Darren interlude this week as we don't have him here. So, hey, guess what? We might just get straight into the intros, but who knew? Things can streamline. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 386. I'm Lee.
I'm Jim.
I'm Elton.
And as I said, there's no Darren. He's not here for reasons which we won't go into. If he wants to go into them next week or the week after, whenever he gets back, then he can. But otherwise, just speak to him. He'll tell you, or he won't. I don't know. I'm not his keeper. Don't stop looking at me. Stop judging me. Anyway, hello there, everyone, and welcome. What?
No, when you said you're not his keeper, I was just thinking, yeah, people actually might think you guys share a big double bed like Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, like
Morecambe Wise.
Morecambe and Wise, that's it, yeah. Yeah, just standing there, sitting there in our stripy pyjamas on either side of an absolutely colossal sized bed. Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, I was speaking to Sarah Lucky Minty today, and she confessed that when she first saw the pictures of me and Darren 10 years ago when we first got going on this podcast, she genuinely thought the voices were coming out of the different heads. So she thought I looked like Darren, and she thought that Darren looked like me. So make of that what you will. Anyway,
that's disturbing to think about now.
I know. It just makes me feel interchangeable. It's just like I'm just a voice. I'm just an asset. Oh, I feel so used. Anyway, so hello everyone, and yes, we're going to do our usual thing. We'll see how everyone's week's been, and then we will move on to the first movie of the year, which is a part of Selfish Medcalf Month, which is basically me just picking a load of old films because I like to watch them. But no other theme than that, really. And we're doing Sicario, Denis Villeneuve's Mexican-based crime thriller drug cartel thing. And, yeah, we'll see how that gets on. But before that, we'll see how everyone's week's been. And we'll start with you, Jim. How's it been, sir?
Fairly quiet, really. I was just doing that. It's January. Keep your head down.
Yeah. Is it the end?
What can I do that's cheap and involves me not spending any more money after Christmas?
Definitely. Yeah.
Not entirely successful. It's actually my niece's birthday this week, so that involves. I'm kind of okay. Right, we need another present. She just got a ton of presents, but she needs some more.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. So. Before Christmas, you got the excuse of, well, it'll ruin Christmas. But, after Christmas, all bets are off.
Yeah. Yeah, but thankfully, if you'd be pestering my sister, what can we get, Jess? And I don't know. We've just done Christmas. She's quite a good kid. It's not like a list of endless wants.
Oh, right.
But I know she likes stuff she can do and get like a lot of play and crafty sort of value out of. Most toys aren't good for her because she just it does that. That's boring. She wants something a bit more, engaging. And I found a rather nice little set for like little girls or little boys for that matter. Modern times. But it was a fashion designer set. It had all templates and stuff, but it comes with its own little light table.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought, that is perfect. Because obviously a light table is, just great fun for anyone artistic.
Yeah.
Just generally, whether you want to do dress designs or anything else, actually. Lots of fun, a light table. Thought, that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Check the review. Does it work? Yes, it does. Bingo.
Nice.
I was very pleased with that result.
Yeah. And you've nicked the light table now, have you?
No, I'm not.
Right. Okay.
If it is really good, I might buy myself one. It's a cheap way to get a nice little light table, not too big.
Yeah.
Very handy.
I've been looking at them myself, I have to be honest. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so I was pleased with that. I don't think I mentioned this way. I had a post-Christmas trip to the Panto as well.
A post-Christmas Panto?
Yes, yeah. Well, we didn't get it together to go before Christmas, and my sister Matt found there's some cheap tickets going, so we went the other week. And but the main draw for me going was it had some camp bloke off some telly program I don't know in, but the other big star was Aladdin and playing the villain Abanazar. was Robin Asquith.
Oh my God.
It was actually really, really good. He played a really good villain, like so properly sinister. And come on, yeah, boo me, you don't like me. He was having a great time.
Did he come through?
And improvising and tripping over the other cast as well.
Nice.
He's always part of the fun of a good panto, where it's just teetering into anarchy.
Yeah, that moment of sort of like, hold on. They've all forgotten the lines, haven't they? They're just winging it right now. You can see
they're all ad-libbing, and they've gone to somewhere strange, and they're working how to get back to the script. That was a good fun night out. Mm-hmm. But so other than that, I've just mainly been staying in and reading the books I got at Christmas, like a good boy.
That sounds like a plan. Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That and working on the we design for hypnagoria.com, which is been occupying a lot of my time, but I finally cracked a bit of code for a website layout, which should be very cool.
Oh,
hopefully,
nice.
if it works.
Nice.
It's got to test it on a few different devices, but it's like a masonry style layout, if you know what one of those is, which means you have things kind of in tiles, but they actually the tiles all move around to the shape of screen you've got, whether you're on a desktop or tablet or a mobile, and it'll all scale properly and shit.
So that's, they call it responsive. Responsive
layout. That's the word, yes.
Yeah. Don't worry.
And no JavaScript and no stupid jQueries or any other stupid gubbins. All done with CSS as well.
Beautiful work. In which case,
yes, really stripped it down and simple. I had to go through about 6 different versions of people doing similar things, and then sort of cobble my own version together and just hit it till it fucking worked.
The Doctor Who
technical terms was code as used, you know.
Yes, the Doctor Who rubber mallet technique. Just keep hitting it with a rubber mallet until it starts moving.
Yeah. But I think I've got it working now, so I was quite pleased with that. So
excellent.
So yes, hopefully you might actually get this site redone eventually at some point in January. But we're getting there now. We're getting there.
Slowly.
Yeah. The Advent calendar seemed to go down well, though. So that all worked. So
that's lovely.
Next phase, I'll get rid of that.
Awesome.
Something new there. So that's been my week.
Well, there you go. So I got no spoilers for my week, but I suspect this is going to turn into the IT podcast today. But anyway, okay. So what about you, Elton? How's your week been, sir?
It's been very good, actually. I released a new episode. Well, it's the first episode of Into the Expanse, where myself and Andy talk about the Expanse. He's already seen it all. I haven't seen any of it. So it's kind of a virgin voyage for me through this. But enjoying it so far.
Cool.
We've got 2 episodes recorded. We're recording another one Thursday. It was just iTunes being like, well, slow and stuff. Just not fucking pulling their fingers out their arse to try and get it up in time. You're like, oh, you dickheads.
Yeah.
You dickheads. But, it's up there now. So, please pop along and download that shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and do check out The Expanse anyway, because it's a bloody good show. And
I've not watched it, so this is the perfect opportunity for me to start.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Just do me a favor, Jim. If you do start watching it, don't read the books, because each of the books is about a series and a half of the TV show, and it's doing a Game of Thrones and rapidly overtaking all the books.
Right. Do the series, then go to the books.
That's pretty much the best way to do it. But the books are a rollicking good adventure reads, but good old fashioned sci-fi romp adventure sort of thing with a bit of gritty sort of alien stuff on top. So, in terms of the universe,
but grounded sci-fi as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's that kind of. Yeah, it's the worn, used universe is what I mean, not monsters in terms of that side of things. Well, anyway, I won't say any more. I'll spoil it, and then we'll go.
Don't you spoil a thing. I'm watching this week by week. It's so hard not to binge this.
Week by week, does it form into a nice folder by the end of it that you get at the end of the 12 months? Like DeGostini or something?
After 11 weeks, you get a binder to put all your episodes in as well.
That's it, yeah. Lovely.
What else have I been doing? Because I got a brand new, not brand new, but a secondhand PlayStation 3 for Christmas. I've been trying to go through all the games that I didn't complete when I had my one.
Wow.
Before it went all tits up. And this weekend, I decided to give Alien Isolation another go. Yeah. I see, I've bought it twice. I've bought it on the PlayStation 3 and the 4.
Right.
And because the 4's kind of always hogged at the moment, I'm sit back and try it on the 3. Now, I know the first... I've already done, like, I would class the first level where you don't really see things.
Mm-hmm.
But things like whiz and pop and crack around you.
Yes.
And I got to a point where I was searching for something. I've done this 3 times already, this level. And yet I was searching for something, getting frustrated, couldn't remember where it was. So, okay, right, if I go over that other corridor where all the shit's been turned over, but I might be able to find what I need to get one of these door wrenches off. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the actual term of it, but yeah. And I walked out and this TV monitor just blew up in the corner. I was like, oh, fuck, no. I know nothing's happening, and yet I'm still jumping at that bastard. Yeah. I'm like, no, it's too much for me. I can't fucking do it.
Next time you're coming down this way, mate, just let me know, because I'll bring the Oculus home and you can play it on the PC on the Oculus.
Oh man, I will shit a brick. Honestly,
it's not fun. Well, it is fun. It's fun for everyone else.
I'll just be stood in your front room,
screaming,
throwing up and shitting in exactly the same place.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, there you go.
Oh,
so you're not going back to it ever again, then? Is that it?
Do you know what? I maybe in like a month or two, I'll go. Maybe I'll give it another go, and then within about 20 minutes, no, the same TV, a pop and crack, and I went, no, put it down. Never get any further than what I did. To get through the first level, I had to use the walkthrough guide, and it said,
"You don't meet the alien until the very end."
Yeah, it said, you don't see anything, but the hint is there that it's there, and you may want to run at the very end. And so, at the point where I got down to, okay, you may want to run now, I just legged it and just panicked. It's like, right, okay, made it through, jumped into some sort of tube system, then that was it. I was off level 1, but it's too much, man. It's too much.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know. I don't suppose you did this, and this is probably not terribly interesting for non-gamers in the audience. But if you do that level again and you run down the corridor to that travel tube, and then the doors open, when you go through, instead of just going through and pressing the button, go through, press the button, and turn around, and see how close that bastard is right behind you.
Oh,
because it is pretty close. It's the first proper jump when you realise that you are opening the door, closing the door, and then as the door closes, basically you see a pair of hands basically reaching towards the door as it closes, and it's like,
sod that.
It's a proper. By the end of that, I literally turned around. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, but it is so good. It's all the ceilings are really low. They're all about 6 foot tall, aren't they?
Yeah.
And the way the lighting in it as well is just cast across everything. There's weird spotlights laying on the floor, casting your shadow over there. You're like, oh, what the fuck was that? No, that was me.
Yeah.
And once again, I know there's nothing happening, and yet I'm still going, I don't like that corner over there. Don't want to go anywhere near that.
He's looking at me funny.
Yeah. Such a scaredy cat. And the last thing for this week, I have binge watched Making a Murderer Season 2.
Okay. Did they make a second one?
Sorry?
Did they make a second one? Murderer?
Yes, they did.
No. Have they found a second murderer to make? Sorry, I was being unfunny. It's okay. Don't worry. Ignore me.
Can I just say to everyone, don't bother. Just rewatch season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Just rewatch season 1. That's all you need to do. Because season 2 is so crammed full of stock footage from season 1, you might as well watch season 1.
No.
It is utter fucking bilge.
Ah. Not that's probably not going to be put on the poster for Netflix, is it really? Let's be honest.
Oh, that was the other thing I watched. Sorry.
Go on. Go on.
Go. Because I did make 2 posters for this. I watched the Bros thing.
When the screaming starts.
Yeah. Man alive.
Yeah.
That is, it's cringeworthy, but it's so good at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like Alan Partridge meets Anvil. If you've seen the film Anvil.
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah. Which is like a real life Spinal Tap, basically.
Yes, basically, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Some of the quotes from these guys, they are pure genius. And the stony face that they come up with. If it was a comedy, you might see in the eyes of the actors that they're giggling behind it. But these guys, they're like, no, they're like fucking brick walls. They are brilliant.
Yeah.
Conkers, man. Just conkers. What's going on?
Conkers.
You're like, what the fuck? There's a bit where one of the guys, he's taking you around his house. He's going, yeah, I had this dog. And so I had him painted. And I had him painted holding a pint of beer. And then that's it. It cuts.
Well, the thing is, you see the painting, which he's had framed, and the painting has been done in classic landscape proportions, and Matt Goss, he's just stuck it in a square frame.
Oh, my God.
Off-centre.
Nice.
It looks fucking awful.
Oh, man, I've got to watch this. I've heard so much
It is comedy gold. It is an incredible documentary in every sense of the word.
What's it on? Is it on Netflix or iTunes?
It's on iPlayer. iPlayer.
Wicked. Okay.
But it is brilliant. Honestly, I highly recommend anyone just quickly get it, because I think it might be coming off within maybe towards the end of this month.
Oh, right.
So you've only got a limited time to watch this. But flipping hell, I think it lulls, because what they're doing, they're getting back together to somehow they're just doing like another concert at the O2, because, bands can just get back together and throw out a gig at the O2. And it's their rehearsal, 30 days up to playing the gigs. And they have their little bickering, and they have their tears and their crying and their fallouts, and they get back together. But that's not I suppose that is the documentary side of things. Yeah. But the thing that everyone gravitates to is their solo talking headshot to the camera stuff. Yeah. Or when they're just talking to each other, and it is like Spinal Tap, but it's like another level. This one goes up to 11, I suppose. But it is just one stage further on from Spinal Tap.
Wow.
Because it is so real.
Really? Okay, fine. All right. So it's definitely not taking the piss. It's just...
No. I think this set out to be a very serious documentary. And what they got were lightning in the bottle a couple of times, and you're like, oh man, that is beautiful.
Nice. Okay. Previously, you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. So to quote Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay. Well, all right. And that's on iPlayer. Yeah. Probably in the UK only for our international friends. But Bros, when the screaming starts. Yeah.
Stops. Yeah.
When the screaming stops.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Bros, I'm having that. Okay. Brilliant.
It's a weird one, because I remember growing up and seeing them guys and like, oh, I can't stand them. But they're on the other side of it now, and it's, I'll just leave you guys to make your mind up on it.
Well, I know that Darren's seen it because he was going to put it in the year end, but just time got away from us last week. So
right.
Yeah, so okay, well, maybe we'll have something to talk about next week then, because I'm going to definitely have a look at it. That sounds wicked. I love.
Yeah, you will not regret it. I guarantee it.
I could do with a fucking good laugh. I'll be honest with you.
The thing is, you'll hear people with a straight face saying phrases that are just beyond belief.
HOME. It's the epitome of home.
The epitance. Nice.
I think that's what he says. I can't remember exactly what he says, but
Oh,
well, like one of the minor, tiny highlights a lot of people were talking about, because you get the history of Bros it goes through, and they go through all the band names they had before. And Matt Goss refers to the fact that one's called Epitome.
Oh, gotcha.
And the word is actually epitome.
Nice. Epitome. Oh my word. That's just fucking genius, isn't it? Well, there you go. I think sold. I'm down for that totally. Right. Okay. Well, brilliant. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it. That's it for now.
Okie dokie. Well, I'll keep mine brief then, because not a lot. Well, there's lots of stuff going on with family things, and I just don't want to get into that. So let's just move on to the fact that after last week, the more eagle-eyed and eagle-eared of you out there in wonderful listener land may have noticed that there was a slight echo on the podcast recording last week, and that it turned up almost 2 days late. And that's because just after I said goodbye to you, Jim, and you, Elton, and I took Darren home and I dropped him off at his house, and I drove back home, and I thought, right, okay, let's mix down the episode, and as I did that, the entire hard drive decided to do the physical equivalent of jumping up, saying "I've had enough" and leaping out of the box. I mean, it really just died in a most spectacular fashion. And you've never seen a man sweat so much, because my wife Carol uses this PC for business as well. And so there's all of her work on this thing, and then it's all the kids' homework and all of her business work. And I thought, well, that's okay, because if the hard drive's just kind of got a few bad sectors, I'll just reformat it, and I'll use the backup to restore the files back. For those of you out there, and this is why I was saying about Jim's thing about it being the IT podcast, but just for everyone's reference, if you've got a Windows 10 machine, and you decide to do your backups, and you think, okay, I'm just going to set up a backup so it does it regularly to an external drive and it's all fine. Don't. Go get a totally different, for goodness sake, go get a totally different backup piece of software. Go and do that now. Because what happens is when your hard drive has a few errors, normally what backup software will do is go, ooh, your backup drive's got some errors. You sure you want to copy all this stuff and waste space on stuff you can't recover? Windows 10 backup doesn't. What it does, it just copies everything blindly over the top of the last backup. So what you end up with is a backup of all the errors which you are trying to restore and copy back over. So there I was thinking, la 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 la, it's all fine. I'll just restore my backup. Restored the backup. Error, can't copy this file. This file is corrupted. This file's corrupted. This file is copying to a corrupted space on the hard drive. This is corrupted. That's corrupted. It's like, so I've got actually a backup full of shit. And I tell you what, the thermal dynamics around me, if you had a thermal camera on me at that point, you would have seen me turn from boiling hot and sweating to ice cold. I literally shit myself. I was like, oh, that's really done it. I've got a backup full of shit. Fantastic. Oh, so, we lost huge amounts of data, and huge amounts of stuff got lost and wiped out, and bits didn't work, and the drive was fucked, and Luckily, I have a second drive with an old backup, and Carol's work is on iCloud. Not on iCloud, is on OneDrive. So luckily, everything came down from OneDrive and was perfectly cool. Once I bought a brand spanky new drive from Scan, thanks to the Patreons. I literally was like, "What? I need a drive," but that's only after. We finished recording when about sort of midnight, didn't we? On that Wednesday. So finished recording on Wednesday, and by the time I didn't go to bed until Friday night, trying to fix all of this shit. I literally just pulled all-nighters just trying to get this fucking stuff running, and it was just like I've never been so totally hammered by a backup and a restore issue ever. So so that's the only thing I can concentrate on. That's the only thing that existed in my world all weekend. It was like, gotta get it working, and so thank you to all the Patreons out there, because without your cash I wouldn't be able to buy a replacement drive instantly and then have it turn up the next day and get as much as I did done and restored. Western Digital, however, got a very sharp, shitty letter off of me saying, hey, guess what? I bought your drive back in September and it don't fucking work. And it's broken. So they're now going to replace it, which is good.
Cool.
So that's handy. But, oh, man, you've never seen a man sweat so badly. There's just like that moment, that icy moment when you sort of go, restore. And nothing's happening. And now it's all going wrong. Oh, literally, the world dropped out of my bottom. I was just like, oh, fuck.
Having an external hard drive fail on me last year, I know exactly that horrendous feeling where it's kind of, this is a triple F situation.
Yeah.
Fucking fuck is fucking fucked, isn't it?
Yeah. It's double fucked. It's double triple fucked. It's double triple fucking fucked. Oh, we're done for.
I've resorted to, because I've had an external one fail and an internal one fail as well, and I've lost absolutely everything. And it's heartbreaking, but also it's nice to have a clean palette to start with. But you're like, oh fuck, all my stuff is just gone. It's just gone. Everything I wanted to keep is gone. And then I had an external one go. So now I've got two external ones, which I periodically back up the main hard drive. And so at least I've got a backup of a backup.
Yes.
And it's the same as when I take the dog out, I always take 3 bags with me, at least 3 bags with me, just in case.
Well,
because I've been on walks and had to use 2. And then there will be a day where you have to use 3. You're like, oh fuck, I haven't got it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But I was terrified to message you about it. I was like, I want to speak to him about it, but I better not, just in case it's all going up to World War III at the moment.
It was on DEFCON 1 at one point. I was like, this is it. There is absolutely nothing left. I might as well just hit reformat on both drives, the external, the internal, and the SSD that's got Windows on it. Just literally just scorch earth and start again. I mean, I almost feel horrified to tell you this, but episodes 325 through to 366 are all fucked. So I've got to pull them all. So I've got to pull those all down from Libsyn. So that's all good. So So basically the whole of 2017, I think it is, disappeared up in smoke. Black Dog 2017 just vanished. But so this is a warning to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Check your backups. Buy a legitimate backup solution if you do, because they will stop when they detect an error in the thing they're backing up, as opposed to Windows, which blindly licks the Windows and then just go, I'll copy it.
Copy paste.
I've stopped the services, so that must mean I'm doing a proper backup like a big boy. And it's just like, fucking hell, fire. So that's going to be my next payment out next month with next Patreon, which is to buy a proper backup solution.
Well, thank you very much to Patreon supporters.
Yes, who say we wouldn't be online now if it wasn't for that. I'll tell you that now. But other than that, we looked after a friend's dog, Dexter, who's a spaniel. He's a puppy, and he also seems to be or pathologically obsessed with snails. So that was good. That was a proper panic as well. We were looking after him while his owner was away, and he's still really, really young. I mean, literally, there is nothing on the floor that couldn't be chewed, eaten, dragged away, shaken, or generally humped. Yeah, that was funny. He basically got his blanket out for the first time, and he's shaking it around, and everyone's going, "Oh, look, he's shaking his blanket," and then it's like, no, he's not shaking his blanket. He's mounting his blanket. And the kids are like, oh, what's Dexter doing? Oh, yeah, well, okay.
He's trying to kill it with love.
He's trying to kill it with his fifth leg. So that was that. Yeah, and then there was this whole horrible thing of just taking him out into the garden, go do your wee. And then he comes back going, like he's eating like a marble. And you're like, what the fuck is that? And yeah, it's a snail shell. So he's like, oh, for Christ's sake. So that was good. Having a puppy that we thought, oh great, we've killed it. we've given it lugworm. We've given it. It's probably eaten a sock somewhere. It's probably devoured half my cables. Oh yeah, the fucking thing found my network cable between my computer and the router and started chewing on that as well. I was like, oh look what he's doing. Get off. So yeah, fun. But apart from that, I've literally done nothing else but panic about the computer and chase a dog around the garden going, no, don't do that. No. Fenton. And Creachanuary, which is still a terrible bloody name. But you and I are doing that, Elton. We're getting there, aren't we?
Yeah, I've had a couple of days off during the week just because life gets in the way, and I think I haven't done one today because I've just been feeling like So it's meant to be a fun thing, so I'll just catch up whenever I can.
That's right. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, on Instagram there's this thing being run by a bunch of concept artists called Creachanuary, which is a terrible name, spelt in a terrible way.
I couldn't even say it.
Yeah, Creachanuary.
I thought it's
trips off the tongue like a brick.
Exactly. And they just give a load of word prompts for creatures and monsters and whatnot, and and then you draw one a day. And you can have a look on Elton. What's your Instagram?
Just Elton McManus.
Yeah, mine's Cartoon Beardy. So if you look us up on Instagram, if you've got Instagram, take a look, give us a couple of likes, say hello, that sort of thing. It's all good. But yeah, nothing annoys me more than doing a design, doing a creature, and then looking on the hashtag for Creachanuary, and then going, you fucker, you have so clearly nicked my design and literally traced over it with a different colour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had that. I had that today. It was all they did was for my Leviathan one. All they did was literally just swap my little scuba guy who's swimming in front of a massive eye and changed it for a submarine, and then painted it blue.
Cheeky bastards!
Yeah, I was very cross. DM words were spoken. People were unfollowed.
Really?
Yeah, people were unfollowed. Proof was supplied. Yeah. Overlays happened. Look, if I take an overlay of your picture and stick it on top of mine, remarkably, it fits.
Oh, wow. So they just picked it up and used it?
Picked it up, just flat colorized it, and literally just painted over it. That's what they did.
Son of a bitch. See, I've had that thing, I think, on the second day. I think you did the forests mermaid, I think it was.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And I looked at it, I was like, no, I ain't touching that. I'm nowhere near that level. And so I just I put it down for a day.
Mm.
And I've had that a couple of times. Yesterday, I was trying to draw that monster, the
Leviathan.
The Etin.
Yeah,
the Etin. And I can't I can do faces sometimes. Sometimes it just magically, actually that works all right. And I sat there for nearly 2 hours trying to do this. There was about 3 or 4 dead pieces of A3 next to me where I was rubbing. I nearly went through the page a couple of times, rubbing that fucker out. I was like, no, start again, disappear for 10 minutes, start again. And then I finally got something down. I was like, do you know what? That'll do. I'm not enjoying this one.
No, that's where I've got to now. It's like, don't force it. If it's not working, just move on. It's like I can't do anything called tribal fairy without it looking, in my mind, incredibly racist or something from Avatar. So
I think I've already done that. I think I did that for my mermaid.
Did you?
It kind of covers it.
Yeah, as soon as anyone puts tribal, it's like, oh god, there's feathers everywhere. There's going to be a mask. It's going to be at least one loincloth. Grass skirts. Yeah, it's just like, I can't do that.
It's a bad road to go down, Ted.
Yeah, no good will come of it. So anyway, so go check us out on Instagram, and see how we're getting on. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there because everything else is just me moaning more than usual. So let's move on to this week's film, which is Sicario.
Think back to the films you remember as good, ones you haven't viewed in a while. How the story rocked and the actors were great, the camera work had flair and style. What would happen now if you watch them today? Are they still as fresh as before? Or do they stink as bad as a piss-covered tramp and leave you screaming on the floor? You know it can be real sad. Find that special film is bad. Wish you just left it a pleasant memory. Now it's time for rose tinted specs on black dog. Watching movies from the past you thought was great. Yes, it's time for rose tinted specs on black dog. Send your feedback in and tell us how they rate.
Right, okay, so Sicario, which is translated into English as Hitman, is a 2015 American crime film directed by Denis Villeneuve, written by Taylor Sheridan, starring Emily Blunt, Benicio del Toro in full mumble mode, Josh Brolin and Victor Garber. The film follows a principled FBI agent who's enlisted by the government task force to bring down the leader of a powerful, brutal Mexican drug cartel. Sicario was selected to compete for the Palme d'Or in 2015 Cannes Film Festival and began a limited release in the United States in September 18th, 2015, followed by a nationwide release in October. Sicario received praise for its screenplay, direction and musical score by Johan Johansson, who sadly died. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. I think it was the year before. It was one of the 2016 losses, I think. 2018. Sorry, he died in 2018.
Really?
Yeah. Johan Johansson, who also did the score for Villeneuve's Arrival as well, and he was due to sort of be working on Blade Runner and then got kicked off of Blade Runner, and anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, so it received 3 BAFTA nominations: Best Supporting Actor, Best Cinematography by Roger Deakins, who also worked with Villeneuve on Blade Runner 2049, and Best Film Music. Mexican viewers criticised the film for its depiction of the area. I shall move on to the budget. It had $30 million budget, and it made what at the box office, Elton?
Well, it's got a sequel, hasn't it? So I reckon 120 million.
120 million. Jim?
80 million.
Oh, you are almost bang on. 84 million it made, which is still a decent profit. It was going to be a part of a trilogy based around the modern day American frontier. Taylor Sheridan wrote it, and he also wrote another film which is well worth a look, Hell or High Water, which is a crime thriller starring was it Jeff Bridges and Chris Pine. What else can I tell you? It was Emily Blunt became involved in the film in 2014, shortly followed by Benicio del Toro, and Roger Deakins was also hired at the same time. Not a lot else is really known. It's got a lot of positive critical responses, which I won't go through because otherwise it might influence us. And the mayor of Juarez, Enrique Escobar. Not that that's got a name not a name to conjure with, but he apparently urged all Mexicans to boycott it, believing that the film presented a false and negative image of both Mexico and his city. He said the violence depicted in the film was inaccurate until about 2010, and the city has since made progress restoring peace. Honest gov. So that's about it really. So. Well, I know that both of you haven't seen this film before. So who wants to go first? Jim, do you want to go first?
If you like.
Just mix.
Give Elton a break from going first.
Yeah, I was going to say, just mix it up a little bit if you like. Because, every time I say, Elton, do you want to go first, there's this kind of pause and a sigh. So maybe. Yeah, don't think I haven't noticed. These headphones are very good. Anyway, so go on then, Jim. What did you think of Sicario?
It's a bit of an odd one, this, because on the whole, I did like it. The Roger Deakins cinematography, fantastic.
Yeah.
The cast is really strong. I kind of like these sort of kind of thrillers that aren't doing the meathead action stuff so much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good meatheaded action film, but kind of when you're dealing with a very real-world subject and you bring the meathead action stuff into it, it sometimes can leave a bit of a bad taste in your mouth.
Yes.
Where if it's something like a completely ridiculous fantasy situation, say like in Commando, that's fine. Once you get real-world politics in, it's kind of doesn't quite as appropriate for that kind of over-the-top action. So I do kind of like these sort of like more like low-key thriller, very violent, very gritty, but, reflecting sort of reality sort of. So more like the crime thriller end rather than the action thriller, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
When I got to the end, I kind of just felt not let down, but it's kind of like I felt it could have been a bit more. Because I felt kind of it was a bit sort of style over substance in the fact that I'd like to have known a bit more detail about the cartels and the machinations and the plotting. And it's one of those things, I think kind of having watched things like Breaking Bad and The Wire that really go deep down and dirty into the whole drugs trade, or even things like Steven Soderbergh's Traffic, or something operated on a fairer comparison, a movie length. I wanted a bit more of that, lifting the lid and seeing the underside of policing. Yeah. And it didn't get, it took me a while to put my finger on what was niggling at me. And it was only actually this morning when I was in the library scanning photos in my own regular job. So it just bolt of view, it hit me. Yeah. And it's the fact that there was two things wrapped up in this. But one is Emily Blunt's character has no agency whatsoever.
This is true. Yeah.
She's just there as an observer.
Yeah.
And there's a kind of a narrative break. And it sort of, I registered, but I couldn't, so it wasn't the next day, it sort of clicked what it was. And that is we see you see the whole film, like from her perspective, more or less, with bits of surveillance footage sort of backing it up.
Yeah.
But when you get to the end where Del Toro goes on his mission,
yeah,
she's not there to see it.
No.
And it's kind of like one of those things like in bad found footage movies where they break the rules.
Yes.
And it was like, that's what was bugging me. And it's just that kind of, it's just it nearly gets away with it, but it did just ping on my radar. And especially it comes back at the end and has this, and I was thinking, how does she know what actually went down? I mean, she's not that high level. How far would she be in the loop? Why was it necessary for him to come and threaten her to sign that waiver? Wouldn't he be just she's been in the office, just sign that and fuck off. And, she wouldn't be much the wiser of anything that had gone on.
Well,
I know she had challenged him and seen him sort of heading off. But it still felt kind of, for a character who was actually that low down on the team, it did feel like kind of a bit. I know kind of dramatically it makes sense, but it'd make more sense if you'd seen a bit more than she actually had.
Yeah,
and was more embroiled, shall we say? But it's a bit odd. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I did the two. It's a 2-hour film, and it didn't feel like a 2-hour film.
No.
And I think, it's just, so wonderfully shot, and the music.
Yeah.
Really good. But I did kind of feel at the end almost kind of, I can get that. I know I did a bit of reading on IMDb, and some people do say it's a film where it builds up to nothing happening, which I think is unfair. But I mean, I quite like that sometimes when a movie does that thing where it doesn't give you the big Hollywood ending. You get something actually quite just downbeat and, punch in the face real, which I think is what it delivers when, Del Toro goes and confronts his arch enemy, shall we say.
Yeah.
And just coldly just bang, 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 job done.
Yeah. And then just carries on his merry way. Yeah.
And I think that scene, yes, it's incredibly low key, and I can understand people who might want him to be, chucking him into a mincer exterminator style at the end. But I think kind of just the coldness of it, and just he gives him just that moment, a few moments after he's killed his family, eat your dinner.
Yeah.
Now eat your dinner.
Yeah.
And then just think, fuck it, I'll off him. I mean, that. I think just dramatically is pound for pound, as good as any number of crates of explosions.
Yeah.
Or buckets of blood, In fact, I'd like to have seen more of just Del Toro just casually slotting people in a nice, cool fashion.
Yeah.
But I understand he has to be the man of mystery for the drama to work, to give you that sort of, really that intense burst of icy violence at the end.
Yeah.
But my main thing is, it's a shame Emily Blunt's character didn't have a lot to do at all.
No.
And neither did Daniel Kaluuya. And it's kind of, these are really good actors who, could have thrown a bit more of a bone.
Yeah.
But the strength of the film means that kind of thing isn't a deal breaker, because it's stuff, I think for most people, it's only when you've watched it and think about it, it'll ping up, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think kind of the scene in the traffic jam.
Oh, yeah.
It's gold.
Yeah.
Love that. And I say, I read a lot of reviews, and a lot of people go, I don't see why the film's so raved about. And I do think probably it is a bit one of those films that in a few years' time we go, yeah, we did get a bit overexcited about that. But it is still a very good film. And, has got some marvelous bits of pure cinema in true show, not tell.
Yeah.
And, using the cinematography to tell a story and from a point of view and take you into a situation. The other thing that bothered me, the bit with the Punisher,
Oh, yeah.
It was that was all a bit happenstance and convenient for the plotting. That was.
Yeah, that was to give us something to do, pardon the phrasing, but,
but not in a very, shall we say, positive and empowering way.
No, not at all.
But I did forgive it for the torture scene of some of the best. You're not giving me an answer? Right, let me get hold of your eyebrow.
Yeah, exactly. Let me stick my finger right in your ear.
That was fantastic.
That was good.
That went deep as well, didn't it?
It did.
That touched something.
Yeah, that went right up to the knuckle at one point, didn't it? That was That was more than a cotton bud's worth. I'll tell you that.
Definitely. And I don't recommend sticking cotton buds in your ear either.
No, exactly. Sorry, Elton, what was that?
I'm just thinking he got so deep in he could actually move his eye like an action man. No fucking freak you out with it. Stop doing that with my eye. Stop it now.
Yeah, rolling it around like Eagle Eye Action Man. Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. Anything else, Jim?
No, I'll leave that for there now, I think.
Okie dokie. Well, then we'll move on to the new Elton. What did you think of it?
Okay. I have to echo a lot of what Jim has said because I didn't have a problem with it being from Emily Blunt's perspective. I liked that. I liked her introduction, the way that they find the cavity insulation.
Oh.
Fucking hell, man. That was dark.
That was fucking hardcore, wasn't it?
I think that when you see that sort of thing, you see a bit of action, but then you see something a bit darker than what you expect to see. Then you're like, okay, it isn't the explosion fest that we sometimes come to see. This is more like Bravo. Was it Bravo 2-0?
Yeah. Or the Hurt Locker or any of those kind of things.
Yeah. It is the real world situation, but it's gritty and it's kind of based on fact, but you're there for different purposes. You're there to be entertained, but you're also there for a slightly political reason as well. And that gives you the entertainment. But as soon as you see like the cavity wall insulation, you're like, shit, man, okay. And then it's not just that room. They uncover the whole house. You're like, oh man, that must have stunk.
Yeah, definitely.
That must have reeked. But yeah, I thought that was so good. But seeing it from Emily Blunt's perspective, I think that gives you an excuse to hold back from the action. You know, when you have all the night vision, it does tick certain boxes. You have night vision, you have the crouching formation, flying army stuff that you normally get as well, which works really well. And I think when you're filming a movie like this, it works quite well with the camera. That kind of slick movement with bodies all rigid and held fast, feet moving really quickly, and that works with a panning situation in a camera. Yeah. That it just goes hand in hand. It works really, really well. But then you have a reason to be behind the action. When they're going into the tunnel, you have a reason to be at the back watching them go in and hearing the firefight off in the distance, because Emily Blunt is the audience. Yeah. And so that gives you that reason. And that's why you're not getting involved in it straight away. Because I think in this sort of thing, if this was like a Keanu Reeves movie, shall we say, he would have been thrown in there and he'd be the man taking everyone out. And he would have done the Del Toro thing at the end or gone along with him at the end. Yeah. But it's refreshing. The audience doesn't do that journey. No. The audience sees their journey, but it's not the audience's journey. We're watching this man reap what happened to his family on his own. It is like his own little journey. So we're not there to yeah, like I said, we are there to see it, but we're not there as an audience participating in it. If it was Emily Blunt going along with it, then we would participate in that action. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does. That we're as one step removed as she is, pretty much, for most of the action. So, yeah, you're not getting the wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of actiony kind of drug stuff that we usually see in these kind of movies. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I find that's that whole thing of just keeping her out of the action, and keeping the audience as bewildered as she is as to what exactly she's there for, is both a strength and a weakness. Of just keeping, as Jim said, you keep her out of the action, and then you're like, well, what's she there for? What's going on? And actually, she's not there for anything. Kind of vaguely deflates the whole thing, and then
she's there to sign off papers, isn't she?
Well,
she's
exactly.
There,
yeah,
she's there as a force to say. Was it the FBI that she was involved in?
Yeah, she was the FBI, yeah. Sorry, go on.
So she's putting the FBI presence in this operation and this situation. And so when it all goes back to, I don't know, their HQ, I don't know the terminology of this, but they've got an FBI agent's signature on that form to say, yes, it went off smoothly and we didn't cross any barriers and we didn't go into Mexico, really.
Yeah. It's because the CIA can't operate on homeland?
Only on American soil.
Yeah, they can't. They can't operate on American soil. So basically, the fact that she's there is literally their get out of jail free for basically pulling the same shit they do overseas, but pulling it in the homeland, which is what they're not allowed to do. But they can't do it any other way.
Yeah, but it's them going after bent coppers as well. They want all the bent coppers, but to get the bent coppers, they have to kind of bend the rules to get them. And bringing her in is their way of doing that.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I quite like the vagueness of it, because we do spend a bit of the time with her going, okay, why are we here? And she's asking these questions. We're like, yeah, I don't understand why she's needed here, because she hasn't done anything. All she's done is smoked.
That's right.
And that's it. But there are some cracking scenes. The traffic jam, I thought, I don't know whether there would be a traffic jam or not. I think they would have cleared that way. I just feel that wouldn't have happened. They said there was a broken down car. I think they would have found a way. If they wanted to get through, they would have got through. But I really like that they're in operation mode. They're in the car, and you're in the car with them. It's all very claustrophobic. And you can see people over your shoulder. Okay, right, got eyes on that car. And I like all the squawking between everyone and all the cars. That's what I really get a buzz off. I find that's real. The squawking, talking about, okay, right, we got eyes on this car, we got eyes on that car. If anyone makes a move, get out. And when they make the move, they just move and they flow in between all the cars up to them, the bad guys. I just think that it's so beautifully shot. But then you also have lots of aerial shots as well.
Yeah.
The helicopter shot and the music that goes along with that, where it's just so cranked up that it's so distorted, but it's got that dread underneath it. It's saying, warning, 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 bad stuff's going to happen. And you're expecting something to happen. Yeah. And when you find out that Del Toro's going off on his mission and Emily Blunt's trying to stop him, he doesn't want to kill her because he needs her. But he's not afraid to fucking put a bullet in her at the same time, just to wind her. And I thought that was brilliant. He gives you a warning, and that is it. You do not get any more warnings from this guy.
Yeah.
He tells you if you don't.
He's not the man who's going to stop and tell you his evil plan.
No, there's no monologue coming from this guy, is there?
No.
And also with the family as well. Jim, you saying that you really liked the the clinicalness of that piece, especially when he'd offed the family.
Yeah, just the coldness of it. It wasn't that kind of so usual revenge sort of scenarios where they've got some tediously elaborate way of just offing them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we all do it. We've all done it. We've been in action movies, and I won't shoot you. I want to take you out in fisticuffs with spoons or something like this to prove you're a man and I'm a better man than you. Yeah. And you're just going, just shoot the cunt, just shoot him, fucking slot him. It was a relief just to see that guy. Yeah, bang, bang.
Yeah.
See, I came away from it, I think, feeling a little cold, as if I didn't get what I wanted, because we'd heard about the setup was his wife had been killed and his kid had been dropped in acid. And you're like, oh God, and it's just before he started his mission. And now he's on the road to that mission. You're like, okay, right, I want to see exactly what's going on here. And I like the way that he just wipes out the family. I feel sorry for him, but the shot of it, he's at one end of the table, the bad guy's at the other end of the table, and his family's just laying on the floor.
Yep.
And I have thought about it. I do like the way that it happens, but I think where you're told what happened to his family, you kind of need something a little bit extra from it. But I like that they didn't. At the same time, I'm kind of wanting more, but I like what they did with it.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's adding that. I mean, this is the thing with this whole film, and one of the reasons I like it is because it subverts the expectations in a way that makes sense. You know, not Last Jedi subverting expectations by saying black is white and up is down. I'm talking about the fact that, you know, you're so used to these kind of movies and going, oh, now, as you said, you're going to say, right, here he goes. He's going to make the next 10 minutes of this guy's life absolute pain, you know, or as Jim says, you know, start fighting with spoons, or do the commando thing. Come on, Bennett, you want to stick that knife in me and turn it, kind of thing. But instead, what happens is he's burnt. Del Toro's just completely burnt out assassin. That's what he's become. He starts off as a lawyer and gets told. I mean, as soon as the guy said, "Oh, you know, it was nothing personal. It's just business," you know, it's like, but then the response is essentially the same. It's, you know, here you go, done. And then the bloke sort of realizes what he's done or what's going on, and realizes that the tables have turned. This is not a legitimate man coming in with law enforcement. It's just adios. And the fact is, you know, it does that thing which I always like, especially with revenge thrillers. Again, you know, look, we're going to get John Wick next week, which is a complete other end of the scale. But it's like, instead of the wham bam thank you ma'am, you know, with cathartic revenge, it's just saying, you know what, this isn't going to make a difference to your life. You had a horrible thing happen to you, and no matter what you do to this other guy, it's not going to make it any better. And so, you know, when he offs the bad guy's family, and then just comes back and just says, you know, to Emily Blunt, and says, sign the papers, and just carries on his merry way. It's like, oh, you suddenly, and I hate to say it because it makes it sound really naff, but it's like you're almost like, oh, this is actually set in the real world. You know, he isn't going to come over in a helicopter gunship and shoot the mansion up and bring in a Hellfire missile from on high and paint the target with a laser beam and all this kind of crap. And he's like, oh, and you know, real world works like this. It doesn't work like sort of bangy, shooty, thanks very much and good night. It just goes, you know what? You killed him. I mean, look at like, you know, when they found was it Osama bin Laden? You're all sitting there going, oh, isn't it going to be great? They're going to get him. They've got him. They're going to take him away. They're going to have him for trial. They're going to hang him. Oh, everyone wants their pound of flesh and blood. But then what happens is what happened? The special forces just went in, went bang, and just walked back out again. It's like, oh,
it's a blink and you miss it, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's that complete deflation of expectations versus reality that I thought was really quite cool in this. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted. But yeah, go on, carry on.
No. Well, I'm quite happy with what I've said. I did like all the characters in there. I like that it's no nonsense as well. It doesn't masquerade to be anything else. It doesn't flower or anything else. It doesn't pretend to be anything else. It's just no nonsense. There's no lulls in there either. Even the scene in the bar, I quite like. And I like the transition between them dancing and them in the room as well. It's just where he's picking her up, and it's just, oh, okay, and that works, and it just flowed really nicely. It's a little shot that I noticed. I was like, kind of like that. Yeah. That works really well.
Yeah.
I suppose when you see the rubber band on the coffee table,
that was beautifully played. I thought,
yeah,
that was so well done.
Because you'd had the scene before of all the rubber bands on the floor, and the guy, it just lingered on it a little bit too long, I think, for me.
Yeah.
He was picking all the rubber bands up and putting all the money back in the satchel. But I suppose that could have been just a little bit shorter.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it's almost like, and again, this is probably just giving away what I think about it, but it's like the moment that obviously stood out to you was the moment that was probably the most Hollywood of that type of film. It's like, here's your exposition shot. Look at this thing because it's important. Look at it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, look, here we are, 6 scenes later, Chekhov's gun. Here it is. It's on the table. Let's have a fight. And it's like, okay. And, and if you're willing to go with it, that's fine. But if you're suddenly sort of going, well, hold on, everything else has been fairly low key and level, no Black Hawk helicopter gunship fights on motorways or whatever. And, then to suddenly have something that's quite plainly a Hollywood move, shall we say. It sort of makes you suddenly go, oh, hold on, we are in a film. We're not watching a sort of a pseudo documentary kind of thing. I'm just if that's why it stood out to you or didn't work for you.
I think on both counts, really. I think it connected it well, but there was it was maybe a too obvious, a bit too. It was in the background. We was looking at her enjoying herself, and then all of a sudden, I think we were upside down, and then it focused in on it, and it was a bit too much. I think if they left it blurred, and we were seeing her realization of it, then that might have worked a little bit better.
I mean, I agree with Jim. I personally thought it was all right, but I do get exactly what you're saying, because it was like a sort of big sign suddenly coming up going, wah, wah. Guess what, people? He's a bad un. And it's like, yeah, actually he is.
You would be fucked if you was a postman, though, wouldn't you?
yeah. Pulling out.
What if he'd just been a postman? Like, oh, hang on a minute, I'll just put a bullet in you. What? No, I'll just deliver letters. Oh.
Yeah. Your daughter's been on a school trip to sort of like Southsea and comes back with a friendship bracelet, and then suddenly like Black Hawk helicopter lands on her head. Quick, go!
No, this is help the hero.
Secure the target. Move! But Dad, all I did was go to the Brighton Pier. Move, get out. 600 tickets and my daughter's been taken away by the CIA. Told you those things were no good, love. Yeah. Anyway,
that's it for me, I think.
All right, fair enough. Well, I've kind of pretty much shot my bolt with my one, because obviously, I've been saying it, but I really appreciate this film. I mean, it does have weaknesses. I mean, the Emily Blunt's character being initially the focus, only to basically be revealed as essentially nothing more than a tick box on a sheet to allow these other two guys to basically perform crimes on US soil, is kind of both a genius move, but also something of a deflation when you suddenly think, oh no, I wanted her to get involved and sort of see the grimy side of this fight when she's trying to play things by the rules and all this sort of thing. And also, but again, it's that whole thing of that I liked, which is the subverting expectations, because as soon as she says, I'm going to go to the boss and tell him all of what you're doing and all this kind of thing and spill the beans. Normally that's one of those things where it sets it up as like, the master and the apprentice must now fight kind of thing. And again, it basically, she goes to the bosses and the bosses just say, shut up and go back. Just shut up and just keep on doing what you're doing. We don't care. And it's that kind of weird moral ambiguity that runs right through the whole thing. That, all the way through, you don't know quite what's going on. And by the time you work out what's going on, you're complicit in it. And, or rather she is. And I just...
it's like the training day thing, isn't it?
Yeah, training day is a good example, actually. It's that, it's almost, and I'm not a biggest fan of this film, but I mean, it's almost that Apocalypse Now thing of kind of like, you're going all the way along, you're following their journey, and then actually you find out that really their involvement in that journey is pretty much secondary to the main character, who is really hiding in the shadows until the last 10 minutes of the film, effectively. And yeah, I'm not Del Toro's biggest fan, to be honest. I find that he's kind of standing there, squint, look left, look right, mumble down at the ground while holding a fag in his mouth, going, it really kind of can wind me up, especially in Last Jedi and a couple of other things he's been in, which were just...
Oh, God, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy to do. Yeah, I what I liked about it was that whole ambiguity about, and it's almost like it's a slice of life. These guys have done this shit before, and they've done this shit hundreds of times. And then when you go back and if you ever go back and watch this film again, the Josh Brolin character going, fucking lawyers, we don't want a lawyer, which is why Daniel Kaluuya gets basically sidelined, because they know that if he was in any way involved, he would just completely fuck it all up by not getting by backing out. Whereas she's got like this vested interest of kind of like, she's lost 2 men under her command, and she's kind of she's shook up and she's kind of jonesing for a bit of revenge, and so she's just a patsy, effectively.
And they made her volunteer as well.
Yeah, and they made her volunteer, so she's complicit in it. And I think it's that kind of thing I really did dig. It was that whole thing of like, there's no heroes in this film, and by the time you work out what it really is about, again, you're too far down the line. The only thing as a real criticism that I had is that there's this kind of focus on that cop, and it keeps focusing on the home life of that cop, and it's fine and dandy that you're kind of doing this thing and you're kind of leading up to him basically unwittingly helping Del Toro out, but ultimately it's like, you're kind of wasting time. That bit just felt like treading water.
And Austin Powers did it better.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that whole thing of, just going back, he's a hitman. He's a henchman. Oh, but he's got a family. Sorry, Mrs. Johnson, your dad's not coming back, And, that sort of thing kind of, it felt a little, that felt a little overindulgent, because there was no consequences to that at all. I mean, if it had gone back to the football match with the kid at the end, and you see that he's being recruited into the gangs because of the actions of these guys, and so they're almost perpetuating it onwards, I think that would be kind of interesting. But what they kind of do is instead just imply that, the way the kid just gets on with his football match and the way the wife is just kind of there at the football match instead of the husband. It's that grim sort of realization that everything's just so matter of fact that it didn't matter, or it almost feels like it doesn't matter.
Do you think he's darker? When he's at the football match, do you think they know that the husband has already gone, or do you reckon that's before that they're told? I
thought that they kind of knew, but what do you think, Jim?
I assumed they knew. Because it seems to be just him and the kid. And then we've got a new adult on the scene.
Yeah. Yeah, because...
I assumed it was known, but...
Yeah, because there's that shot of the kid by the bed as well.
Yeah.
And Dad hasn't come home. But, and that's
See, I thought it was that he hadn't been told. That was kind of the next morning because there was a hint of, oh yeah, I've got soccer, I've got practice and stuff like that. And it just feels, I suppose it's a bit of a darker tone for me where I'm thinking they haven't been told yet. They're carrying on along with life. His kid's going to continue playing football, but they're going to have an almighty shock when they find out later that day.
Yeah, whereas I sort of thought that they knew, and then the ending of the shot of, you know, just hearing gunshots off in the distance and an explosion and all that kind of stuff, just echoed that scene where the tactical ops guy gets Emily Blunt and goes up onto the roof and says, "Oh, do you want to see some fireworks?"
Yeah.
And it was just a repeat of that, and the explosion happens, and then the kids just carry on playing football, and it's just like, this is just, shorthand for this is just the way of life. And it's just a really grim finale to basically saying, you know what, it doesn't matter what anything that they've done, doesn't matter anything they've done, doesn't matter what Del Toro did at the end, all this stuff that they've disrupted, the fighting's still going on, and people are just getting on with their lives regardless.
Yeah, the drugs will still be sold, people will still be killed for it, and people will still get high in America.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the message of it, really, when it comes back to Josh Brolin going, you know what, was it Brolin or was it Del Toro who basically just says, as long as people just keep buying this shit, this war will carry on. Because there's money.
I think that was Brolin.
Yeah, or whoever it was, I'll have to double check, but whoever it was, basically, as soon as they say that, it's kind of like, well, that's the message, that this whole thing is just a complete pointless merry-go-round.
That was Brolin, because Emily Blunt was on the floor, still winded.
Yes.
She punched him, and then he told her to calm down. See, that's what I like about it. It's real. There's no questions asked. There's no shouty. You should have done this monologue punch. It's just, she's wounded. She wants to sucker punch him.
Yeah, and whereas in any other film he would have turned around and gone, oh well, and then had a big fight and punched her up or something. Only for Daniel Kaluuya to basically pull a gun out and shoot him or something. All this stuff that you would expect from a Hollywood film, and it just didn't do any of it. And
you would have had him standing up over her, looming over her, like the authority.
Totally, yeah.
But really, he's down on his knees. He's got to calm down, and he's taking a knee. And he's talking to her and he's saying, look, you can't stop this. I can't stop this. We're just doing our best.
Exactly. And that's the message of the film, isn't it, really? That everything's just morally grey. All you got to do is just what you can to try and do your little part for it. But, work around the system. But the system is never going to change, because as long as people in America are snorting this stuff, there will always be people on the other side of the border desperate enough to make the money, because there's money to be made. And so, the CIA can't do what they need to do to finish this, because they have to get people like Emily Blunt, patsies, who are just going to sign off forms and make it all legit. And it's a massive operation just to do something that, really, with a bit of moral ambiguity, would be incredibly simple. But, I loved it. I thought I loved the fact that it's so morally grey. And that's something you don't get with a lot of these kind of films. You get, like you say, you get too many of these kind of, Keanu Reeves is in this film. Okay, right. Well, he's going to kill every single fucker on the screen.
I'm sure we get to that at some point.
I was going to say, and I'm sure we're going to get to that next week. But the thing is, it's, it's that sort of thing. It's just like, well, if that's going to happen, the film's already played out in your head. And that's the thing, I think, and this is probably blowing my own trumpet, I apologise, but there's too many films now where I watched, or maybe I've seen too many films where you watch something and almost from the moment someone opens their mouth and you spend a second looking at their face and the way they act as they walk in through the door, you go, you're a wrong 'un, your third act death. You're a wrong 'un, your second act death. You're a wrong 'un, you're going to be the person they kill initially to kick it all off, and you're the good guy, and you're the good guy's mate, so you've got dead meat strapped across your forehead, and you've literally you can see it all, like almost like an Excel spreadsheet, and it's just like, okay, all we need now is to know what's going to light the fuse and start this all off. And the fact that this didn't, was really quite refreshing. And especially if you've seen things like on Netflix, Narcos and all that sort of thing, which owes a massive debt to this. I mean, in terms of the way it looks and the way that people act around each other, and no one's just sort of like going, "Oh my God, you killed Kenny." They're just kind of like, "He's dead, right? Whatever. Let's move on." So it's a big thumbs up for me. And like I say, this film and Villeneuve's other one, Prisoners, which we may get to one day if we've got the stomach for it, because it's not a cheerful film.
Oh, okay.
It's Jake Gyllenhaal and and Hugh Jackman, and I think is it Paul Dano? I can never remember which one of those two. Anyway, it might even be all three. But basically, it's about a suspected child or a paedophile or a child murderer in the suburbs, and a dad who loses the kid, and then another dad, a next door neighbour who wants to the cop who's trying to investigate it all, and then there's one who's being suspected of the whole thing, and it's just like, how far will the dad go to make himself feel good about that he's doing something when the police appear not to be? And there's a whole, it's not a cheerful film. Let's just put it that way. By any stretch of the imagination.
I think I've seen trailers for this. Yeah. I think I remember seeing the trailers for it, but never seen it. Yeah, it's Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, and I think it is Paul Dano as well, sort of walking around like some sort of soggy...
Oh yeah, Paul Dano, there we go.
Yeah, looking like a sort of soggy sponge in the background, and everyone goes, "Oh, he's a bit of a wrong-un. Oh, he's a bit of a wrong-un." So therefore, he must be the one that the police are really looking for, and then sort of watching the whole sort of street turn on the bloke.
Oh, he was the guy in Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, and he was also in There Will Be Blood as well. He was the vicar. But anyway, little detour down IMDb. So yeah, I mean, like I say, because these things are sort of a little bit more morally ambiguous and a little bit more, less I say it, but a bit more adult in terms of the way they portray certain situations. I really digged Sicario. The sequel is apparently shite, but
I've heard that as well. Sadly,
yeah. But never mind. We'll find out. But I'm sure we'll do it at some point. But that's it for me. I mean, that's all I think. I think it's well worth a look. I mean, I think the second time, if you watch it a second time, I think you'll appreciate it a whole lot more knowing what's coming. If you know what I mean. By not doing that audience thing of, well, where the fuck is this going? When is she going to actually do something? Knowing what you know about her role in it, as far as Brolin and Del Toro are concerned, suddenly when you know that and you go back to it, it's like, okay, they just, as long as she's in the room, it's legitimate. That's why they keep going, okay, right, we're going to lay down the law. And they just put her in a corner, and then they just go, right, and they carry on talking halfway through the conversation. You think, well, why aren't they bringing her up to speed? And it's literally just the fact that they can turn around and say, were you in the room? And she can't lie and say, no, I wasn't, because there was like 12 witnesses. And that's it. And that it's a funny structure when you watch it for a second or third time, and you suddenly go, so there was really little point of her being there, apart from just being sort of a hat stand, really, that can just bear witness to all this stuff and legitimise it.
I like the idea of that. I might try and watch that again, because the first experience is you trying to work out what's going on. The second time is you watching the person realise exactly what's going on. We're already 4 steps ahead of Emily Blunt's character that time.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different movie.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. I mean, like I say, you don't have to. I wouldn't recommend going off and watching it like straight away tonight or whatever.
No.
But the point is, I just next time you put it on, or next time you see it, because it's on the E4 a lot. But if you next time you see it, just like I say, just go in with a completely different viewpoint straight away, and you'll find that film is almost an entirely different film, because literally Emily Blunt is only there because she would be the only one who'd volunteer willingly, and they can just get someone in. So it's interesting. It's a really interesting film. It sort of literally morphs before your eyes when you watch it a second time. So cool. Anyway, there you go. So yeah, for me, thumbs up. But then otherwise, I wouldn't have picked it if it wasn't really, was it? Yeah, for your selfish Metcalf month, I'm going to have Atlantic Rim. Yeah, I'm a complete.
Well, I think it is one of those films, though. It's kind of, and I'd say to anyone who watched it was underwhelmed. I think it is one of those films that the more you reflect on it, the more you like it. And particularly with anyone feeling shortchanged by the end. So the more I think about it, the more I really, really like that ending scene.
Yeah.
And it is the right ending for that movie.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same with most of Villeneuve's movies. I mean, like things like Arrival, like Prisoners, which I won't spoil for you, but you know, it ends in a way that you kind of go, oh god. And then the new Blade Runner film, and you know, and he's doing Dune next. I mean, I can't wait to see what he's going to do next. I mean, so I like that, and it's just he's my favorite director at the moment. I think all of his stuff, but yeah, definitely check it. Next time you get a chance to watch it, and you know, look at it with fresh eyes, because I think you'll find it feels a totally different film. And
cool.
Well worth a look. Anyway, right, we'll leave that there. And just before the customary promotional stuff, just to tell you in case you didn't pick it up on the way through, our next week's film is going to be exactly what I said, which is John Wick, because you know what? We've had a serious adult action thriller. Now we're going to have Looney Tunes, the movie, with some stylized ultra violence. And yeah, have you seen this film, guys? Jim?
I have, yes.
Elton?
Yes, I've only seen one of the Wick movies.
Is he having revenge for a dog or a car?
The dog.
Then you've seen the first one. So there you go. Are you looking forward to watching it again?
Oh, I think I had fun with the first one. I don't know how well it's going to stand up for the second viewing, though.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I'm kind of interested in watching it, to be honest, because it's like, you know, those nutty action movies can either be super, super cool, and you watch them again and you laugh knowing what's coming, or you'll sit there and watch it and go, actually, it was a one-shot deal. I'm kind of glad I watched it the first time, but you know what? Maybe not the second. But
yeah, can one man really get this angry over a dog? I understand.
Oh, dear, you're not a dog owner, man. You just have a dog in your house, if you can say things like that.
What it's about just a walking husk to me?
Yeah, it's just a furry piss and shit machine. But anyway,
I put stuff in it. It comes out the other end, and that's it, really.
Yeah, and that's your name of your third album. Yeah, furry piss and shit machine.
Yeah, that's
Goodbye, Radio 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and now following Beyond the Wizard's Sleeve, we have on John Bill tonight. We have Piss and Shit Machine. Welcome to the old grey whistle test. What about you, Jim? Are you looking forward to this?
I'm looking forward to going back. I mean, I watched John Wick when it came out, and I didn't quite get why people had gone so mental for it.
Yeah.
So I'm interested how I'll react to it this time out. I mean, it's one of the first time was just kind of like almost like felt rather pummeled by the end of the number of headshots and skull cracks. And it was just kind of like, it was like, you know, ultra violence, the wallpaper mix.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost become ambient by the end because it was just like so over the top.
Yeah.
But you know, so I am looking forward to going back to it though. So, so knowing what it's like, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it could go either way. I don't know. It's exciting.
Yeah. As far as it goes for me, I am looking forward to it. I wouldn't have picked it, obviously. But yeah, for me, I mean, I don't know if batshit crazy movie month, was it last year or the year before? But we did that, and I think that kind of illustrates that if action is crazy enough, I mean, properly, like I say, Looney Tunes, then I'm willing to go with it. If it just tries to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff of just being like, yeah, there's a big explosion and a man with a big gun, I kind of go, whereas if it's super hyper violent and super hyper stylized and you just go, like The Raid or the original Crank and that sort of thing, I just go,
or Happy as well.
Happy, yeah, exactly. I just go, you know what? There's no point even trying to sit there and rationalize this shit. You just got to go, this is an adult cartoon. This is all just missing Porky Pig at the end going, ba-dee, 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 that's all, folks. So I enjoy those ones because they are just utterly, utterly beyond stupid. So, like I say, the Raid is a good one. The Stephen Chow things like Kung Fu Hustle and that sort of stuff. And John Wick was just a return to that kind of absolutely out of its mind crazy action stuff. I'm hoping I'm going to feel the same way again watching it this time, because it's been a while since I watched it, and I do have the sequel on Blu-ray unwrapped, but I haven't actually watched it yet. All I know is it's his car. But anyway, so yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if we got Darren back next week, so if we have, then great. If we haven't, then hey, another short cast. So yeah, hopefully he'll be back next week. But yeah, on to our promotional stuff. So Jim, what is happening in the wonderful world of Hypnagoria this week?
Well, episode just dropped is another reading of one of the charming Stoneground Ghost Tales from E.G. Swain. Mm-hmm. And coming up this weekend, I'm taking a look at another fancy hardback from Rebellion, showcasing the artwork of the utterly demented Ken Reed. Ken Reed's Creepy Creations.
Yes, nice. Liking that. Elton?
Well, as I said at the start of the show, you can catch me and Andy on Into the Expanse, where we're talking about each and every episode of The Expanse as I witness it for the very first time. Nice. So you can catch that in iTunes. We were supposed to do a Shonky Lab last Friday, but alas, a computer died.
Well, a Western Digital hard drive and a shitty Windows backup solution. Yes, got in the way.
So I haven't organised for a rescheduling of that episode, but I'm sure that'll happen sometime in the future. Wow. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Cool. Well, I will be there.
Was that on to be on Bandersnatch?
It was.
Yes,
which I'm still having trouble bloody watching.
Really?
Well, you can't Chromecast it.
No.
The Netflix app on my smart telly, it won't work with.
Oh.
Neither will it work with the app on the Blu-ray player, and neither with the Amazon Fire either.
Yeah.
Oh. Which is kind of... I know you want it out for Christmas, guys, but maybe...
Give it a try, yeah.
There's no reason that it shouldn't work on these things. The thing is, if I just want to watch it on my own, I can see it with the laptop.
Yeah.
But me and Teresa want to watch it together, and that's trying to get back onto a decent screen, not to be huddled around.
Yeah, huddled around a laptop.
A computer or something, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, screen mirror.
Fighting over the remote control.
Yeah. No, we can do this.
Can you not plug your laptop into your smart TV with HDMI?
I'm going to look into that tomorrow. I've got spare cables somewhere in the cupboard.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm not sure the new laptop actually has a HDMI out.
Oh.
Because it's being a little thin, slimline one. And you know, they're like these days for not actually putting any useful connections on devices.
No, that's very true. Okay. Well, I wouldn't.
I have to look into that. So.
Yeah. No, it's all DLC now, isn't it? If you need to like download a new dongle to put a HDMI into a new computer.
Download a dongle. Well, I think if nothing else caps off our lack of IT skills on this podcast, that's the fucking line there, right there. Download a dongle. Jesus. Yeah. Well, okay then. Yes. Not a lot for me to promote, obviously. You can check out my Instagram with Creationary stuff, which is instagram.com/cartoonbeardy. And I also appear on an episode of The Great Derelict with Andy Palastides talking about the year 2019, which according to people in 1982 and 1984 was supposed to be some sort of like, apocalyptic dystopian wasteland. Except with flying cars.
Flying heads.
Yeah, flying heads and flying cars. No.
And presidents eating McDonald's in the White House.
Yeah, I mean, who the fuck would believe that?
Hangburgers, apparently.
Yeah, hamburgers. The best burgers in the whole world. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, with the hamburger thing, I mean, you know yourselves, guys. I mean, you buy fries from McDonald's, they barely survive the 10-minute walk from the restaurant to the bloody car, let alone a 40-minute drive to the White House, being laid out on plates and put in fancy cups. I mean, those must have been just potato noodles. But anyway, sorry, a little bit of politics there. But outside of, you can find me on The Great Derelict with Andy for this episode of about 2019, though Great Derelict is currently going through a bit of a rejig, so you might not find it straight away, but it will be there. And that's greatderelict.libsyn.com or on iTunes. And I said on Facebook that there was a couple of other casts I wanted to just promote, and one of them is the Borg cast Galactica, which if you've our friends the Orgs, who have been doing Borg cast for goodness knows how long, all the Star Trek stuff. Well, they've moved on to Battlestar Galactica, so they're doing a weekly or monthly rewatch of Battlestar Galactica episodes, starting off back in the 1970s, working their way through to that one where they're on Earth and the flying bikes and the super-powered scouts, God help them, and then moving on to the modern day Ronald D. Moore series, and then watching those episodes as well. And you can find that over at, he says, looking for the link, over at galactica.libsyn.com. And again, if you search for Borgcast Galactica, you can find it on iTunes. And also, the Profanabard, Scott Matheson, has started up a podcast called Scott's Got Thoughts, which is on Apple's podcast. And yes, he does have thoughts. So there, about films, books, TV, cocktails, travelling, pretty much everything. So yeah, audiobooks. Yeah, it's kind of more of a general podcast. And it's the Profanabard. Go give him a listen. Yes. And lastly, obviously the Patreon. The patreon.com/Black Dog Podcast. We've opened up the month end movies thing again, for good or ill. So there's a Patreon level now, which if you subscribe to, you will be able to pick a film for us to watch at the end of each month. One per month per user, please. Form an orderly queue, and please pick a good film, for goodness sake. But anyway, so you can go over to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Black Dog Podcast. Right, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Elton. And yes, we shall see you, hopefully with Darren next week, with our next week's film, which is John Wick. So until then, take care. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Till then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da!
quirks to it.